We Gen Xers grew up under the looming threat that thermonuclear annihilation could come at any moment. It was the middle of the Cold War and the tension permeated everything. Duck and cover drills at school, the day after on TV, and in the arcades, Atari's Missile Command. Now often lauded as one of the greatest games of all time, when Atari brought the arcade game to the VCS in 1981, we were all ready to defend our cities from the comfort of our own homes. That's next.
This video supported in part by...
Playing VR, I tend to sweat. It gives me an edge. So King of Nerds happens to give me an edge too. Let King of Nerds give you the edge. Bye, King of Nerds.
Hey there, welcome back to GenXGrownUp. I'm John, and I am a GenXGrownUp. Thank you for taking the time to check out this video. Missile Command was an unmitigated hit in the arcade, so after the success of Space Invaders, we're bringing Missile Command to the VCS? Well, that was a no-brainer. They tapped Rob Fulop to do the work. It was released in 1981 and was a huge success. It still ranks as one of the favorite 2600 games for most enthusiasts. It's for good reason. Let's go check it out.
Well, hello, Missile Command, my old friend. Man, if I had a nickel for every time I've seen this screen and fired up this game, I'd have a lot of nickels. I would. Now, when Rob Fulop brought Missile Command to the VCS, I don't know if this is his decision or at Atari, they softened it a little bit. And I'm not talking about, of course, there's obvious watering down from the arcade in terms of how many missile silos you have and the enemies that fly across and all that are missing. I'm talking about like the story. So very clearly, though I guess it wasn't explicit, but it was pretty well implied that while they don't say which side you're on in Missile Command, this is Earth, and these are your cities. And I'd often heard they were actually like cities of California, and these are, Soviet missiles coming inbound. That's how I always felt and interpreted it. However, you read the instruction manual, which I never read this part when I was a kid. It's all aliens in the 2600 game. So you are the planet Zardon, one of the last peaceful planets of the galaxy, and the aliens from the planet Krytal are firing on you. So the missiles coming in are not ICBMs, they're IPBMs, interplanetary ballistic missiles. And you shoot anti-ballistic missiles, ABMs, at them. That's the basic idea. Missiles are coming in, they're trying to blow up your cities. You have the ability to fire anti-missile missiles and this mushroom cloud to meet them. So if I hit start, so what you have is this reticle. It was a trackball in the arcade game, and here it's your joystick, which they do quite well, actually. If you shoot where the missile is, you can miss it, right? Because it could be behind it. What you need to do is intercept the missile. Forgive me if you know this about Missile Command, but not everyone does. You need to put up a cloud of smoke, a bomb that will intercept the head of the missile, not the tail of the missile, like that, right? As the missiles come down, they might be attacking your cities or your missile silos, or nothing, depending on how they're aimed. Let's take a tour around the screen right quick, and then we're going to talk about the difficulty. So the most obvious thing, starting at the top of the screen right now, is the game select up top, of which there are, I think, 37 some odd games, something like that. The top left is what game option you're on. The top right is how many players. So maybe it's 35 game options. Let's see, 34 game options. The first 17 are single player, the same thing. I'll put up this chart and you can see, because it impacts things like how quickly you can move your cursor, the cruise missile intelligence. Cruise missiles come in after level 6, and what level you start on. Plus there's like a children's game that's like super easy to look at. And then I'm going to go down to the children's game just for fun. You'll see how that is. It's a great place for me to do a tour of the screen because everything's going to move super slow. So coming in from the top of the screen are your missiles, of course. Here is your cursor, which I'm moving super slow because this is a children's game. Now, normally the arcade game, you would have 3 missile silos. What they did here is at the bottom is your single missile silo that you can fire from. But rather than having 2 more missile silos, in the lower left are these 2 little boxes, and they represent 10 more missiles each. So when I use all of these missiles, let's use them all up right quick. Again, 3 on the screen at once. Make that little snowman. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And when I fire the 10th, it'll refill from one of those boxes in the lower left. And then, of course, across the bottom are your cities to protect. You need to have at least 1 city to continue at any given time. Extra city every 10,000 points. A lot of Atari games have this, and not everybody knows about it. And that is, I never knew it as a kid. If you hold down the game select, it'll move through the game options. But if you're holding down game select and then hold game restart with it, look how fast they'll go. Space Invaders has this. I know Asteroids has this. I don't know how well documented it was in features, but look how fast it will go if you hold down both of those levers. Instead of just rapid firing, which is what I always did at that little switch. Difficulty, A and B, it really just impacts how quickly your missiles can launch. Let's fire missiles. This is the B difficulty, like that. And now my difficulty A. See how long it takes for those to get across there? This makes it way more difficult. So game difficulty. I always played on difficulty B. That's plenty tough. Doesn't matter so much in the early levels, but the later levels, man, look how much advanced timing you need when you're in difficulty A. Yeah, to protect your city. So you're gonna watch out. The other thing of note when you're playing is in the original arcade game, when the game ends, you get this big explosion and at the end. Rob did his best to do that. Let me let these last two cities die, which I expect they'll die right here. And when all of your cities die, you're treated to this giant explosion at the end of the game. All right, this missile's going to blow up my last city. A few more missiles are going to come in. And since I have not crossed the 10,000 point threshold, it's going to tally up what I have left, and then we'll get that cool explosion at the end. No the end on the screen, but it gets the point across. Boom. Yep. And then finally, if you care about scoring, I'll throw up the scoring chart. You get points for cities you have remaining and missiles you have not fired. Plus, of course, as you move through the levels, multipliers go up, just like the arcade game. So as you go to different tiers of the game, you'll get double, triple, quadruple points on your points. On every point you get, it has a multiplier on it, so everything is increased. So really, the longer you can last, the more points you're going to get, not just because you're getting more points, but because everything is worth more. And that's why there's an option to start at later levels. Maybe you want to start getting the multiplier earlier before you start losing cities. So I always start at the beginning. So, okay, before I do my points run, I want to show you Rob Fulop's Easter egg. If you've seen me talk about Missile Command before, you've probably seen this, but I'm not going to not mention it here. The manual even mentions that game option 13 is the most difficult version of the game on the cartridge. And that's also where the Easter egg is. All you have to do is super easy. Start the game and end the first level with no points. So let's start the game. Now, I'm just going to fire these missiles. I want to make sure I have no missiles left, because if anything is left, you're going to get points for that. You need 0 points at the end of this level, and you're going to keep an eye on that far right-hand city that just got blown up. Oh, got a few missiles we got to get rid of here. There, they are all gone. 0 points. Just got to wait for the explosion. Here it comes. There it is. Way to go, Rob. So one of the many Easter eggs in Atari games, and probably the easiest to get, is Rob Fulop's. Okay, I'm going to do a points run. Before I do, I'm going to remind you of our store over at GenXGrownUp.com/merch, where we have all kinds of cool original designs and mashups of our logo with so many other pop culture logos, plus designs from hundreds of other artists you can get printed on hats and shirts and tees and mugs and pins and stickers and all that stuff. Look, every time you purchase something, not only do you get the thing you ordered, you're helping out independent content creation like we do here on Gen X Grown Up, and we certainly appreciate you. So keep us in mind next time you're in the market for something like that. Okay, for my points run, I am going to game option 4, which is fast cursor. It is smart, what do they call them? The drones that come in, the start after level 6 we talked about, and normal difficulty. So we're starting on level 1. So game option 4, difficulty B, and let's see, I don't even remember what high score is. Certainly I get a couple of extra men. And for this one, for Missile Command, I'm definitely playing with the wireless CX40 because it's the way to play this game. On the 2600, short of a trackball, it was designed to work with this stick. All right. Now, early on, things are pretty easy going. And look, I'm not telling you anything you probably don't know if you played Missile Command before, but the key is to get out in front of missiles. And the fewer missiles you can fire, the better, because you get a bonus for every missile that's left over. So if you can try to find a place to put your explosion that intersects a couple of incoming missile, IPBMs in this case, that's good. You want to try to do that. But not at the expense of a city or your silo, of course. I always felt that the difficulty on this version ramped up a little more slowly, but quick enough to be fun, but fast enough to be challenging. Now, of course, when you lose cities, they will be replaced if you have accrued some. So let's say every 10,000 points you get an extra city. Let's say you got to 60,000 points and never lost a city. Well, if you lost all 6, you'd get all 6 back because you had 6 extra cities accrued. All right, yeah, you can see it, picking up pace, look for intersections, try to get multiples at once if you can. Also, if you're really paying attention, you don't have to shoot every missile, just the ones that are going to intersect with something on the ground. And see, that was like a hit anything. You can let it go. Now, of course, points for shooting it, but if you can figure out the angle where it's going to land, you can sometimes choose to ignore some of these incoming missiles if you see they're going nowhere. Now, that's easier later, like when you have maybe only 3 cities left and none on the other side, you can focus. But it's true the whole game. There are times when, get these together, there are times when you can just let some go because they're not going to hit a single thing. Now, on this game option 4, which is a little tougher version of the game, I usually find that I might get 20 grand or so if I'm lucky. On the game option 1, the default, maybe higher, but I like the challenge. I find game option 4 to have the most comfortable ramp up of difficulty, so the game doesn't last forever, but boy does it give you plenty of challenge and plenty to concentrate on and pay attention to. Kind of a multitasking game. I also use game option 4 because it has the faster reticle, and if that's too slow, you really can't get back and forth. Since you use a joystick and a trackball, you kind of can't get back and forth very quickly, so that's important. Oh, getting fast now, look at that. Oh goodness, I missed that. Okay, so one down, boom. Get it. Let that one go. There we go, and this one and that one. Oh, these guys, they're smart too. Try to shoot ahead and behind to catch him. Nope. Oh! I missed him and 2 cities down. But we got 10,000. There we go. 1 back. Let's see where they put it. Far left. Thanks for that. You're at the mercy of where they put it, I'm gonna shoot together with that. There we go. Oh my goodness. Got that. Couple inbound here. Got those. Whoa! So that's going to hit nothing. I can let that go. There we go. All right. Good. There's one coming in here. They're both going west. So if I have a choice, I'm going to defend the west side first because there are more cities. I'm sorry, the east side first because there are more cities over there. So if I have to let something through, I'm going to try to let it through on the west side if I can help it. Whoa! There's one on the west down. So I can let that go and focus on the east. This guy. Oh, missed him. I lost some missiles. All right, focus on the west. East, again, I keep saying that wrong. East side, the right side, because I have 3 over there. All right, about to hit my 20 grand, which is a respectable number for game option 4. Oh, I couldn't defend that city, just not enough missiles in the air at once. That's going nowhere. That's going after a city. Just trying to figure out the trajectory to decide what's worth going after, I got 2 of those at once, that's good. Okay, there we go. Kind of sandwich those between a couple of missiles. Works out pretty well. All right, 20,000 city back. Don't put it on the far left. That just means I'm going to ignore it because most of my cities are on the east side. I said it right that time. Oh, just almost missed that. Got one of those. Got that one. All right, 2 cities. Oh, go! I missed one. There's one. Oh, lost another city. All right, we're getting a multiplier now. I have 1 city left. This could easily be it. Oh, no! Oh, but we might get 30 grand. So we lost a city. As long as we get to 30 before we tally up all of our points, we should get 1 more back and I get 1 more shot at this. Oh! Got that. Good for points over here. Got my 30. Missed that. Okay, extra city. Where will they put it, though? No, way over there on the left. Now, I don't think they always go in the far left. I've just been having... No! Oh, I missed him right away. I'm done. And now you kind of have to play out and get your best score as you can with all this bad news. Like, it's over at this point. You're just kind of rearranging the deck chairs of the Titanic at this point, trying to get a few points. Not enough. Nice. 33,690. I'll take it.
Missile Command was a huge commercial success for Atari, but when Rob Fulop received his Christmas bonus that year, it wasn't a nice fat check, but a coupon for a free turkey. So shortly thereafter, Rob and a handful of other Atari programmers left the company to form Imagic, where he wrote such hits as Demon Attack and Cosmic Arc. So it's quite possible that if Atari had learned from the Activision immigrations just a couple of years earlier and started sharing the wealth with their star talent, they very likely would have stuck around, and those early Imagic hits could have been Atari games. Live and learn, I guess. You know, I cover a different vintage game each week here on Friday Plays. If you have a game you'd like to nominate, well, please sound off down in the comments. Meanwhile, links to some previous episodes here and here. Of course, I hope you found something to enjoy in this episode. I can't wait to talk to you again next time. Bye-bye.